Hey everybody, I would like to welcome you to another episode of Pop Culture Gems. This is a series where I, Davis Green, talk to amazing creators, artists, cosplayers, voice actors, and so much more. If you like the interviews we do with our terrific guests, like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel. We release Pop Culture Gems on all podcast services and also on our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com. If you would like to support the podcast, you can always become a CFG member by going to our main store, the cfg.store. Today, I am talking to a voice actor who has been in several different anime series. He has been in roles like the young warrior Stark in Frieren, Senta Yamada Asamon in Hell's Paradise, Aoshi Tokamitsu in Blue Lock, and just to name a few. I would like to welcome Jordan Cruz to the show. How are you doing? Yeah, doing good.
Man, dude, I'm doing great, man. Just got out of the shower, so the hair's a little wet. Obviously, we're rocking, like I said, the double beanie. So
same color and everything. You know,
same color, bro.
I did the exact same thing. I got out of the shower like right before this. I was like, "Oh, this is perfect time."
Yeah, that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. But I'm doing good. I'm doing great. My cats are chilling somewhere downstairs. I think my wife is hanging out with a friend, so I'm just chillaxing here, having fun and doing a podcast.
That is awesome. Yeah. Hey, it's always good to keep yourself busy. And I definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule for that.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, that's good. And I just realized something, because you are literally the third guest in a row that has been a part of the Hell's Paradise VO crew.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Who else did you have?
Before our break, I talked to Marissa Duran.
Okay.
And then last week I talked to was it Nazir Tarsha?
Nazi.
Sorry, Nazi Tarsha. Yeah, that's going to be released actually tomorrow. And
nice.
And now you're the third one. So you're the hat trick at this point.
Right on, man. Dude, both are great, amazing people. Like both Marissa and Nazir are good friends of mine. And they're incredible actors.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, Nazir, man, I love Nazir's energy though. That dude is like,
he's great. He's great.
All right, man. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk about you.
Let's do it.
All right. So, like, I like to ask this for all of voice actors that come on here. But what is your story? Like, what got you into voice acting?
Okay. So for me, I was an actor first. Like, I was interested in doing it back in middle school. I attended a private Christian school over in Seffner, Florida, which no one ever knows where that is. So I just say Tampa. And I remember in middle school, I auditioned to try and get in, and I did like some weird country accent for something, and I didn't get in. But in high school, I tried out again, and I was able to join, the drama club, whatever you want to call it, Thespis, whatever. And that's kind of what started fueling my interest in acting. In 11th grade, I remember watching Will Ferrell's like best of Saturday Night Live, where he did like a Harry Carey impression. And I remember like copying that and doing that for my friend, and him and his family were like cracking up. Like they loved it. So that's probably when I first realized, there might be something here. But I continued to do acting in college. I went to like a small community college. I auditioned for, I'm getting ahead of myself. I did a play, in college. I also did some in high school as well. And I want to say I got interested in voice acting thanks to a friend of mine. I still remember it was 2012. He was a big, anime fan, big otaku. And he was the one that introduced me to anime. I had seen anime. I'd seen like Pokemon, Digimon, Metabots, like different things like that. But I didn't realize that was anime. I just kind of was like, cartoons.
Yeah.
But when he got me into anime, that's when I first was like, this could be a lot of fun. I don't have to memorize lines. I don't have to block scenes. Like, maybe this is something I can get into. bought myself a microphone, started networking with people, started meeting folks that to this day I'm still friends with. And that's just kind of how it started. I
Wow.
decided that I wanted to give it a shot, and I guess it worked out.
So well, you said, so were you prior to your voice acting career, were you doing mostly theatrical stuff, or or was this more like plays, musicals?
Yeah.
What kind of things?
So I did some plays, but I actually had stopped acting for a little while. Well, rather, I should say I stopped pursuing acting for a little while because I just wasn't sure if it was going to be enough to like bring in money or bring in, like to make a career out of it. So I stopped for a while, and then I want to say when I found voice acting is kind of when I got the itch again to give this a try. Just because it seemed like fun. It was something new. It was something I'd never tried before. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Interesting. And it's very interesting on so when you took the break and you got into voice, and then you started looking into voice acting itself, what was the series that your friend introduced you? Do you know the series your friend introduced you to that kind of made you be like, this sounds like something that I might be.
Okay. So there were a couple series. Obviously, like I had heard of Naruto, but I had never really seen much of it. So getting a chance to like watch a lot of Naruto was really cool. He also showed me The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Crispin Freeman, in both shows. I loved his voice, and I thought, like, man, this guy's so good. Like, I want to be like that. And then the last show, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like, you're gonna laugh at this one because this was my first introduction to like anything ecchi at all, which I was like, this is interesting. I think it was like Heaven's Lost Property.
Oh God, yes.
I think,
okay. Yeah.
And I was just like, this is interesting, but it's kind of comical because it's so over the top and ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is something.
That is funny. So it's actually it's actually really cool for fortitude when you just like, you looked at it and then you're like, you know what? I might be perfect for this kind of these kind of things. Like that's really good incentive for you to get to do that. That's really awesome. And was there I was going to like ask, was there a series or a movie that that kind of, well, you just asked it, I guess. Never mind.
Well, Naruto for sure.
Yeah, Naruto's definitely.
I love that show. I watched pretty much all of Naruto regular, and then all of Shippuden. I binged because it was just so good. I loved the Chunin exam arc. I thought that was definitely like one of the strongest points in the show. Rock Lee going up against Gaara is always talked about because that's just such a freaking cool fight. I actually liked the Sound Ninja trio. I thought Dosu with his mask and like his bandages and everything was really cool. But my favorite character definitely is in Shippuden, Toby. I don't want to do spoilers in case people haven't seen it, but like
it's been enough time.
Oh, okay. So not Obito, but like the actual like funny Toby version. So,
yeah,
like,
the one with the mask. Yeah.
Yes. Like that's my favorite iteration of Toby and my favorite like anime character of all time.
Wow, really cool. Well, you know what's actually kind of funny? I was just thinking about this. Like, you got inspired by a Will Ferrell impersonate Will Ferrell to become an actor. Then you got inspired by doing voice acting with Naruto. I kind of like that. That's a really cool way.
So it was cool. It was definitely interesting for sure.
All right. Well, went away from the booth itself, like the voice acting booth. Like, do you have a personal hobby or interest or something that you like to do on your own? Yeah,
so like many, I'm sure, I am a huge gamer. I love video games. I've always loved video games. Even before I was an actor, I was a gamer. I don't really stream or anything like that, just because for me, video games are a little more of like a relaxation, like my time. And I have nothing but respect to people who do stream, because it's like, hey, that takes a lot of work and a lot of energy and a lot of, having to be on for people.
Entertaining all the time, 24/7.
Exactly. So for me, I'm a huge gamer. My favorite system was the Nintendo 64. My first system was a Sega Genesis. I still remember playing like Toy Story, Garfield Caught in the Act, Echo the Dolphin, which was hard as heck, and I hate that game.
Still to this day,
I hate that game. I don't know why I was allowed to play this, but Eternal Champions. I had a X-Men, Sonic the Hedgehog, the trio. If you remember, like the Sega Genesis trio cartridge that
Sonic
had
and Knuckles, so then you had to put the Sonic. Then you could put the Sonic.
Okay,
yeah.
So not that one. It was the one that had 3 games in one. So it had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, I didn't know they had a trio cartridge like that.
Yeah,
really?
they did. Yeah, they did.
Wow.
It was Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and then Mean Bean Machine, which was just a reskin, recolor of Puyo Pop.
Oh no! You know what? But let's face it. Everyone played just Sonic 2 on that.
Yeah, it's true. I believe it or not, I actually was a Mean Bean Machine fan, just because I liked robots back in the day. But the Sonic 2 was definitely the best game on there.
Genesis had a very interesting catalog of games. I will say. It
really did.
I remember. It was funny. The first game that I was introduced on the Genesis was Booger Man.
I remember that.
Yeah, Booger Man.
I remember that game.
Then it was like Earthworm Jim and what was it? It was a Ninja Turtles game. I don't remember. But it was like a fighting game. But everyone was all weird because it was on the Sega Genesis, and I was like, really? It's like, but it was a real fun one though. I loved it.
Okay, that's fair. I know for me also, like, and I was just talking about the Sega Genesis. Like, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but like I would always go to friends' houses to play Super Nintendo, because I thought Super Nintendo had some of the best games.
Oh, Super Nintendo, bar none did. I would agree.
So good. And then obviously Nintendo 64. Star Fox is my jam. I still love that game to this day. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon is my favorite N64 game of all time.
You're like the second person that said that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I've known about that game, but I never understood why. I really got to try that game out now, because you're the second person that have said that, and I'm
it's good because so it's like, imagine it's got a little bit of like a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time feel, where like it's a adventure game, like you're going to different places, but this game definitely incorporates a lot more like corny, like hamminess to it. And instead of being in Hyrule, you're just in Japan. And it's a very fun, like, interesting adventure. Let me put it this way: the game has its own laugh track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's funny. I never got the 64. Like, I was my mom gave me the Sega Saturn of all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I only had 2 games on it. My whole history. It was
interesting.
It was Daytona USA. Well, it was a CD that had 3 games. It was Virtual Cop, Daytona USA, and Virtua Fighter 2. And then the other one was Die Hard Arcade. So
wow.
It was so randomly abstract. I'm like, well, I don't even know how I got into gaming as much as I have now.
That is insane.
It is very much so. I totally agree. I mean, I was a Super Nintendo kid prior to that, but then once the next gen came, we chose wrong. It's essentially what happened. I like to call it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Saturn was a good system, but there just wasn't any games for it, especially not how old I was for it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I correct me if I'm wrong. Was because Saturn and Dreamcast are they the same, or are they 2 different?
No, the Saturn came before the Dreamcast. I think it was only around for about 3.5 years, and then the Dreamcast came. Yeah, the Dreamcast I loved. The Dreamcast was a great system.
Yeah, I see. I never had either, so like that's the one system that I'm like, I don't really know too much about these. But I do know Jet Set Radio was on one of them on Dreamcast, I believe, and I'm a big Jet Set Radio Future fan.
Oh really? Oh yeah. You played on the Xbox.
On the Xbox. Yeah, okay, I didn't. Yeah.
There is a ton of great Dreamcast games. Like, and I mean, like, I don't know if you played Fighters, like Marvel versus Capcom and stuff. That was the originator of all of it. And yeah. Then there was also Mark of the Wolf. Power Stone was such a great game. Resident Evil, like, it was the game. I mean, if you ever get a chance, you should definitely get them, but should definitely check it out. But it is a gem of a system. I'm telling you, it was ahead of its time. I will definitely say that. Okay, yeah, and I know that when you decided to I'm sorry, but I kind of lost my place on it.
All good, bro. All good. We're live. No.
Yeah, I know, right? Once we started talking about gaming, it's like, okay, there you go. But the people you played, like I've looked at your like full biography, like just all the characters and stuff that you played. Yeah. I just realized that you had a very dynamic range of characters that you have played. Like it's like, because you know how people kind of get a little bit typecast for one kind of role or they lean towards more on one kind of thing. You are all over the place.
That tends to be the case a little bit. It's funny because sorry, I might be getting ahead of myself. Did you have a question, or was it just like a hey, I noticed?
Well, I did have a question, but yeah. I was just wondering because, like, was this something that you personally kind of wanted to, try to not get yourself into, like, being known for a specific kind of role, or was it just something that was just your range was just already vast that that they were like you could do anything, anything when you get hired for it?
Well, first off, I appreciate you saying that. For me, I honestly was just, like, there'd be some shows that I would audition for. And it just so happened to be like a different archetype, and the director liked what I did, so they would cast me. For others, I think, especially when I first started, people might have been trying to still figure out where to place me. Because there's some characters that I voice that I'm like, that is not even close to my natural voice, but I'll give it my best shot, and I'll, hopefully people like it. Mm-hmm. And then I think just gradually as I started working, like, people maybe they started realizing, hey, like, he's, like, we can use him in different spots. Like, there are certain actors that, they've got a specific archetype, or they've got, like, a specific sound, a specific voice that works, and, they get cast as a lot of things in that range or in that archetype, or, you might hear, they may not necessarily change up their voice too much, but it works for every character that they do, because, like, their acting is just, it's good. For me, I mean, yeah, like, I don't think any actor ever wants to be, like, pigeonholed into, like, a specific archetype, because just as actors, we're always sitting there going, hey, I can do other things, I can play other types of characters or other types of archetypes, or, if you've got me as this, I can always play, like, a villain, or, I can always, I can go higher, or I can go, deeper in my range. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always have to be, that same thing, but at the same time, like, if that's something that you do well, people are gonna go, I mean, you do this well. Mm-hmm. I want to pick you for this. I know you could probably do all this, but I want to pick you for this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, though.
You're good.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, like, I guess the big thing is that I know, like, I don't know how when you're trying to go for a role itself specifically, especially for the characters that the several different kinds of characters that are out there, especially in anime, since they're all shape, sizes, all of them are different, and then they're all in tone and pitch, and I'm just amazed because it's like when you're saying that there's people that are known for having the same kind of pitch, like, I mean, like, I know top of my head, Katie Shaw is one of them, the girl that's in Bob's Burger as the Louise or whatever, the youngest daughter. Every role is basically that, and she does not change her pitch in any of the voice acting roles, but it just works for her that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like for you, it's like this, like you're like, I'm seeing you right now, you playing Stark in Frieren. And it's like, okay, I did not know that you were Stark at first, and then I was like, wait, he sounds familiar. Oh, okay, it's okay, it's Jordan Dash True. And then you turn around and you do a role like Kirong in Heaven's Official Blessing, and it's like, I can't even imagine them saying, oh, well, I heard him to be this character for that role, and he looked like he'd be the perfect fit for it, because it does not mask your voice at all. I mean, like, it's incredible.
So in talking to the director, and I think I should be able to talk about it now because the role's already out with Shirong, but they had mentioned to me that they just heard like an audition of mine, just in general. I guess because they were saying that they cast based off of, like, they listened to the Japanese, and then they're like, who do I think would be the best fit for this role, just vocally. And I guess they heard like maybe a crazy like audition I had done or something. And they called me in for it. But I really appreciate that. For me, like I said, I never want to be pigeonholed. I do want people to be like, oh man, he's a great actor, and like, you know, we can rely on him and we can trust him. But I guess for fun's sake, I always like to keep people surprised. So I never want to like show all my cards. So when someone does cast me as something that people are like, man, this is so different than this character, which is so different from this character, and you know, continuing on, it's like, yeah, I'm an actor. Like that's what I do. Like I want to, you know, and it is always nice and fun to like see people be surprised and go, man, that's the same person. Just because it's, you know, I get to look and be like, yes, it is. It is I. It is I, Jordan Dash Cruz.
It was me the whole time. Yeah, there you go. Oh my man! But no, that's really cool. I was like, that's really awesome to see see the range. Yeah, and by the way, you are doing a great job playing Stark in Frieren. Which
Thank you.
Yeah, my friends, I sat down and just randomly watched like Frieren. This is a interesting topic, like thing, like post. Oh, you did all your adventures, and now you're just going by her storyline of like she's gonna outlive everybody essentially. Yeah, really cool. And then you play Stark, the warrior's apprentice of the original warrior of the group. But like, I'm just kind of like his mentality, his childlike innocence during his travel of the show, on the show itself. Like, I mean, I know that you don't write the script, but it's like, how does that, like, is that even, I don't even know how to really ask this, but more like, does it really affect, like, how do you implement something like that to portray into the character, into that character, into your character of that show itself? Because like, I just feel like it's a little bit not naive. I don't want to say naive. That sounds kind of mean, but it just seems it's just very weird. It's just very aloof. The weird aloofness of it just seems very weird to me, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think I see what you're saying. So for Stark, so when they called me in, I actually didn't even know that I was going to be playing him. They had sent me an email saying, hey, can you come in for 15 minutes for Frieren? And I said, okay, cool. Probably a bit part. I'm cool with that. Hey, I get a chance to be a part of Frieren. That's incredible. And then I go in, and the director, Jade, she ends up telling me, so I'm casting you as this character, Stark. And I'm like, okay, cool. Still didn't really realize that he was like a main dude. And then I come home and I tell my wife, and she's like, I'm pretty sure that's a main character. And I'm like, nah. And I look it up and I'm like, no, he is. Then we binge watch the show. But in terms of Stark, like well, first and foremost, Jade's just a great director. She's really, really killing it with this show. She knows how to, like, she'll know like how much is too much, how much is not enough, what exactly like the scene needs, the character needs. So working with her is always a blast. But in terms of Stark, let me put it this way. My wife told me that Stark is the most like me character that I've played. So I think that might be a little bit of what helps with the, I guess, like that aloof, like silly wackiness, that he has, but he's also like very, this isn't me being like, oh, I'm so kind and all this stuff, but like, I just incorporate a little bit of myself into the character. It feels very natural for me. A lot of the reads that I may give are just reads that I would probably do if I was talking to an actual person. With Freerin and stuff, or with Zine or with Fern, people are goofy sometimes. So I try to do the line a little goofy. People are serious sometimes. So in those moments, I try to be serious. So it's very natural, very grounded, which is a lot of fun for me because early on in my career, I feel like and this isn't anyone else, but more so myself, because this is just how I had approached it for a little while. I was always afraid of going natural because I thought people might not like my voice naturally. So I would always try to like put on a little something extra, like a little extra sauce or something. And this show has helped me come to, the realization that, hey, your natural voice is just fine, Jordan. But yeah, man, that I hope that like somewhat answered your question.
Yeah, it kind of does, because like it's weird because like you can kind of know how a show is going, like progressive, like I mean, especially like when you go through a show itself, you know how your character is going to be. Furin itself doesn't seem like it hits that same kind of mold, because it's shows like your character is showing like is kind of is very like aloofness or like doesn't really know how the world works fully, but at the same time he's technically the comic relief in a show that doesn't really kind of show you direct like comedic inserts. It's more like the way the pace of the show is going, it's like, oh, okay, this is a funny moment, this is what it is, and stuff like that. And and that's why I was like, wow, I don't even know how to describe Stark on this from this.
I would say he's just a regular guy. Like yes, he's an adventurer. He's super strong. He's got like his massive axe. He can be a scaredy cat, but like I looked at the character and I'm like, this is just like a person, like I said, people have moments where they're really funny and ridiculous. I know, like with my friends, I'll say stuff or they'll say stuff that just absolutely has me like cackling and in tears because I'm laughing so hard. And then with those same friends, you'll have serious conversation and you'll, like it's like, hey guys, let's not be funny right now. Let's talk about this,
right.
So I just view Stark as that. And I'm like, okay, like in his funny moments, like I can be funny. In his serious moments, I can be serious, and I just kind of incorporate a little bit of that into his character. And, I make him somebody that people can relate to, because in the end, a lot of people who watch the shows, they may view themselves as some of these characters, or they may like insert themselves as some of these characters. Man, I see a little bit of myself in Stark. I see a little bit of myself in Fern and in Zine and Freerin, So I just try to make it relatable and fun, something that people can watch and go, yeah, that's probably something I would say, or yeah, that's probably like how I would say something.
was like, oh, it's classic Jordan right there. Oh man, I actually kind of wanted to go back when you said when you were picked for the part. Did you even like? Was the part given to you on this, or like did she already had that she had the character in mind for this?
Yeah, I guess so. I had gotten the email. I didn't audition for this show. I got an email just saying, "Hey, can you come in for this?" So maybe she like heard something of mine, or maybe she had been considering me. I honestly don't know. I'm very thankful that she, at the very least, like was thinking of me for
definitely has a good ear. Yeah, she definitely had a good ear on it. I mean, you fit the part perfectly for start.
Thank you.
I would say.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's just I'm just mesmerized about like how the process goes with when y'all get a role and stuff. It's like 50. You casually just said, yeah, I just got something in the email 15 minutes in, and it's like I'm like, what? You get like a leading part like that? That's just crazy.
I had no clue. Well, because it's interesting. So it's like we have like auditions and stuff, obviously like, and I can't go too into it because I don't want to, be like, pull back the curtain or anything, but, we audition sometimes, and then sometimes people just consider us for things. And I think that's just how it works, just with any acting project, like even movies and stuff, you'll have directors or clients that are like, I was thinking of, the Rock for this, or I was thinking, like some, this actor, Will Ferrell, or, obviously auditions may still happen, but there's other directors who are like, man, no, I've got the perfect part for this specific actor. I think I want to use them. And like I said, that's just, I think the grand scape of things, like including movies or stage or games, like whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And I've said already, you played, I can never pronounce his name. Is it Kirong or is it
it's a Chirong. So like
Chirong. Okay.
Yeah, the Q is actually like a CH noise.
Okay, so Chirong. Okay. Yeah. So like you sound like when you played that character in Heaven's Official Blessing, I was like, you just seemed like you had an insane time. Like you had a great job, like you had the great job. You just didn't. Yeah, playing it. Like, what made you enjoy playing playing that character so much?
Man, dude, like villains are always a lot of fun. I didn't really know what to expect, but I had watched some of his stuff in the Chinese before I went in for the session, and I was like, "Oh man, this guy's crazy." I was like, "This dude is like completely insane." And I had always wanted to play a character like that. As a goal of mine from when I wanted to do this, from when I wanted to start doing this professionally, I think everybody has that goal of, I want that one crazy character. I want that one character that just is absolutely like insane. And I thankfully very, very gracious and very, very thankful that Jerry picked me for this role. And I did my best. I wanted to channel maybe a little bit of like that Joker-esque vibe that he's,
Yeah, I was thinking Chinese Joker the whole time.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure. Well, okay, so let me back up. When I watched the episode, in my head, I was like, I think I know what I want to try and do with this. So I go in for the session, and for the first session, Jerry actually wasn't directing me. It was Jill. Jill Harris was helping out. And I remember we go in for like our first cue, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna throw out this idea that I've got, and maybe they'll like it. And I gave him, that very like Joker-esque kind of. It's funny because people will sit there and they're like, "Oh, he's British," and I'm like, "That's not a British accent." I'm like, "That's more just like a refined, like well-spoken." He has diction. I guess maybe you could be like Transylvanian, or that mix between like British and American,
aristocratic kind of.
Yeah, like universal kind of thing. but it's it's funny because I threw that out there because that was just the idea I had, and they liked it and they kept it, and I was like, all right, cool. So I had a lot of fun with Cheetong. Like I said, villains are just there's so much.
Was that your first villain?
I'm not sure if that was like my first villain. I think it was my first major villain potentially, but then again, I could be wrong. I'd have to look through my credits and be like, oh wait, no, I was wrong. I would say he's a villain. I know I played Rashad in Beyblade, but he wasn't a villain. He was just the antagonist to the protagonist. He wasn't like a bad guy. But in terms of Cheetong, yeah, we just had a blast. The laughing was insane. There was one scene where I had to laugh for about 16 seconds. Nonstop, and we did it on the first take, and then afterward I had to put my hands on my knees and I'm like, give me a second because I'm about to pass out.
Oh my god. You know, it's funny when you think like, oh, it's only 16 seconds, then when you seriously sit down and think about it, you're like, oh my god, that's a lot of that's a lot of air. Oh my goodness, that is so great. It's just hilarious because I was thinking, man, like, yeah, because you definitely portrayed him as insane. I will say you definitely did a good job on that. And like, what is it that like? It's funny when I ask people like, what is it that makes you want to be a protagonist rather than the antagonist in roles? Like they always, most people like to kind of go to the protagonist side. Why is that? Like, what makes it, like, why is it so endearing that most people like to do that role more than they would rather do the antagonist side? Or for you, let's say that.
So, I mean, I guess honestly, just, you know, most actors, like, they want to be the leading man, you know, or the leading woman, you know, like, being trusted with a character that is like, you know, the main character of a show. I think that's what a lot of actors want, you know, because it gives them a chance to showcase, you know, to the director that,
I'm sorry, I got that backwards. I bet the protagonist is the good guy, the antagonist is the bad guy. Most people want to be the bad guy than the good guy. So it's
okay.
Yeah, my bad. It's the other way
you're
around.
good. You're good. Well, like I said, you know, in terms of villains, like, villains have more fun. Like, I think there's a little bit more of I don't want to say that there's more, you know, of an open field for you to like try different things as the villain. But I think there's a lot of ways that you can portray evil. Obviously, you want to still portray it in a way that does the villain justice. But with some protagonists, they kind of have to fall into like a box, and you kind of have to play within that box. I don't know if you're like a wrestling fan at all, but like I grew up like, you know, knowing wrestling, and then I was a big wrestling fan like all throughout high school and college and stuff. And I'm actually going to a show in a couple weeks. But that's besides the point. The point I'm trying to make is, you know, in wrestling, you've got like good guys and you've got bad guys. And a lot of people, they always want to cheer. Nowadays, they want to cheer the heels because the heels are so ridiculous and fun and silly, or even if they're serious, like, it's the way that they're portrayed. Whereas the face, you know, I think it's harder to be that good guy because there's like a box. It's like you can only do specific things to really try to get the crowd engaged. Whereas I think there's more that you can do as a villain to really make the crowd hate you. And the more they hate you, the more they're like, man, I really do hate this guy. So like, I think I kind of like him now because he plays evil so well. You know what I mean? So I think that might be part of why people gravitate a little more towards wanting to play villains, because it's just fun and you can kind of throw your own spin on, you know, the character and really just make people hate you.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, definitely. It's actually funny because when you were saying wrestling, because I had my my nephew to go see the Royal Rumble this
Oh,
last
nice.
weekend. Yeah,
Very cool. In Tropicana?
Yeah,
Tropicana Field?
yeah. Well, I didn't physically go. We went to go watch it on TV.
Oh, okay,
but like,
okay.
yeah. And then I was like, because I kind of wanted it. Like when I was growing up, that was the thing too. I did with my dad and my uncles and stuff.
Great,
so,
man.
Yeah,
And honestly, like I appreciate wrestling even more now that I'm an actor, because I'm just like, man, like they have to play characters too, you know. But yeah, Cody Rhodes, 2-time Royal Rumble champ.
Yep, it's a action based soap opera. That's what wrestling is.
Exactly.
It is so funny, and it's actually kind of funny when I mixed up the antagonist and protagonist thing. It was actually it kind of brought to like something that you mentioned when you started that. I was talking to when I talked to Nazia about it too, and he basically had a really good point of it, saying that like of not really necessarily wanting to be the main character, but rather being like a character that can support the role. Like for instance, everyone likes Deku in My Hero Academia, but there's so many other characters around MHA that most people are like to be like, oh, I would love to be Bakugo or whatever, and stuff like that. I would like to have my chance to play that kind of character as a supporting character. May have less lines, but I think I could do that character justice for these kind of certain situations, though. I mean, I think
honestly, sometimes the supporting characters like tend to be even more popular, or they tend to be just even more, if we're talking acting, they tend to be even more fun to play. That's not to say that there's not main characters that are fun to play, because there are, but again, it kind of goes back into that whole box where it's like, hey, you know, sometimes these main characters, like you have to be a specific way with them, that I don't want to say it like doesn't allow for acting, because it does. And then there's a lot of like emotional moments and different ups and downs, peaks and valleys. But again, it's just sometimes those supporting characters, like people just gravitate to them a little bit more. And because of that, it's like, oh, hey, you know, like I know such and such is the main character, but this side character, I think I like them a little bit more just because they're, you know, I connect with them, you know?
That's probably, that's definitely good. Yeah, that's definitely that's a good way of describing it. I would definitely say, and also just what was I gonna say? Just went blank. Oh yes. What was the like? Do you have like a role that you like? What do you have a personal role that you would love to have a chance to have your take on playing, or is there a character out there that you think that you would love to play, that you think that you could make a pop out and give it justice?
Oh man, like just anything, man. I mean, I would love, I would love, I mean, like I said, I'm a big Jet Set Radio Future fan. Like I would freaking love, like if they ever did like a remaster or something of like Radio Future, I would love to be Beat. I know that there's only like little voice lines and voice clips, but that'd be fun. Honestly, like I think everyone always says the Joker from Batman, Mark Hamill, like that's freaking
big shoes.
But I mean, but it'd be fun. Like it'd be so fun to play like a young Joker, you know. I think that'd be fun. Man, golly, there's so many. I would love to be someone in Naruto, like also I don't know if you remember this show Metabots.
Oh God, yes.
I would love to be Spike in Metabots. So he was like part of the Screws. He was the one that always lost. Like I just think that would be, he was the jobber of Metabots, but like I would love to be Spike because he's so stupid and so ridiculous. And I just feel like he would be something.
He's so stupid that you just gotta love him. That's just what it comes down to.
Well, because he always loses, and he's so ridiculous.
That's funny. Now I'm curious. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Growing up, man. Okay, so I got into it a little bit late. But I was a big fan for a little while of the Hurricane.
Oh my God. Gregory Helms.
Yeah, I was a big fan of him and Maven.
Wow, Viscera, the big dude.
No, Maven. Not Mabel. Maven. He won Tough Enough. He eliminated the Undertaker from the 2000 Royal Rumble. I'll be honest. Like, not a lot of people say he was my favorite wrestler because like I just appreciated the fact that he was able to take his dream and make it a reality by winning. And then he lasted in WWE for like 4 years or something. And I'm a little disappointed we haven't seen him back in any capacity. But I know he's got like a YouTube now where
you should listen to him, man. Like his YouTube. Yeah.
I watch like all his videos. I'm like, bro. So I know a lot of people will be like, what, Maven? But yeah, like Maven's my favorite wrestler.
I think Maven would be very good. I think you'd have to give him respect on walking into a situation where it's like, I don't have any training at all. Yeah. Like I'm athletic, but I just don't know but I don't know how to do bumps. I don't know how to do flips and stuff like that.
Respect, man.
Learned all of that throughout that 4 years. Yeah. Then also win it. Yeah, you're right. Maven, give me. But like over the Undertaker, come on.
I mean, dude, like I'm sure Taker gave him that rub where it's just like, hey, listen, like, oh, you're new, you're up and coming. Like, yeah, you can eliminate me. I
love it, dude. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was when like wrestling was like totally crazy, like ridiculous. Yeah,
it was.
But that's good. Oh my goodness, man, Jordan, thank you so much for doing this interview. It was really fun.
Absolutely.
Fun. Yeah. Just out of curiosity though, too, like, are there any shows like that you're going to be going to? Because I know you travel a lot to different kinds of places. Like, are there any shows that's coming soon?
I've got like conventions and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a couple of conventions. I don't know when this is going to be coming out, but I've got Con Nuga towards the end of this month. In Chattanooga. I've got ChromaCon in Baltimore. I've got Anime Milwaukee in Milwaukee, which will be, both of those will be in March, like beginning early March.
Nice.
I want to say a couple of others.
I'm trying
to think off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, sorry to kind of put you on the spot on that.
I want to say a couple others. There are some that I am remembering, but they haven't announced me yet, so I don't want to like break NDA technically. I guess. So I'll wait on those, but I'll more than likely post them on like my social media.
Oh, it sounds good. And what's your social media?
So it's dash Cruz VA. So that's DASHCRUZ VA. And that's both my Twitter and my Instagram.
You have an awesome middle name, dude.
No, there's a story behind that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'll say it because like people pretty much know. So Dash actually is not my real middle name. I'm not going to say what it is, but Dash was a nickname that I had in college. And I was originally going to go under the moniker of Dash Cruz. That was going to be my actor name. But I ended up going with Jordan Dash Cruz. One, because who doesn't like a 3-name actor name? But two, so my mother had passed away. I want to say it was like a week after I was born. And, her and my father gave me the name Jordan. So, and my older brother, he'll sit there and he'll claim and he'll be like, it was my idea. But I wanted to, dedicate, that to her. So it's, I kept, my first name, for my actor name as well. So Jordan Dash Cruz.
See, that's awesome though. I love that. That's a great story. I definitely love that.
Man.
Yeah. But actually, it's funny. Actually, I might be at ChromaCon, so that's going to be a good one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, definitely will. If see you around, I'll say hello.
For sure, man. Yeah, if you're there, just pop on by and we'll chat. You got to be wearing that beanie though.
Oh, in Maryland, definitely. Oh man, but folks, if you love the interview that I just did with Jordan Cruz, you could definitely check it out on any podcast services, or definitely check out the huge library of other interviews that we have on our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com. But definitely stay tuned and for some awesome more episodes. So once again, this is Davis signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Peace.